Nothing changes if nothing changes. I think we've all heard the saying, and it's true, nothing does change if nothing changes, right? You gotta change your habits. You really gotta change something about your habits, your mindset, the way you go about life day to day, if you actually wanna change your life, right? If you actually wanna get things done. I see a lot of like videos and people talking online like, oh, change doesn't, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? You can't change overnight. It's gonna take a while, right? It's like slowly changing little habits, and over time you gain better ones, and it all compiles into you changing your life and having a better one ultimately, right? And I think that advice is true. But there's also a lot of people who are like, how to change overnight, how to become a different person. And I think that's a little less true. I think that definitely has some fabrication to it. But I think that that also is real to a point, not in the way that they explain it. I've never seen a good video actually that's like you can change overnight that actually explains how to change overnight. It's very weird. The simplest way I can explain it to you, based off my experiences, is it's just different for everybody, right? Everybody is so unique. Everybody's their own person. Nobody's gonna change the same way, right? So it's kind of hard. You kind of just have to search within yourself and find like your actual motivations for doing things. Even though motivation is kind of a trap, right? Your reasons for doing something, you need to find that, right? But if I were to generalize some advice for everybody, first I would say not to get discouraged. Like a lot of people say Rome wasn't built in a day. If nothing happens for a little bit or for a day, don't almost beat yourself up about it. You want to have a level of anger inside of you to be able to change, right? But that shouldn't lead you into like a depression or whatever. Like that shouldn't happen. You can't care that much, right? I think a lot of it is letting go. The art of not caring. If you let go enough, if instead of locking in, you lock out, it locks you in. Just trust me, right? If you just let go of the things, if you just let go of things, then it's like you really just don't care anymore. It really does help. I almost don't know how to explain it, but it just takes you out of it, You get so mad, you get so angry, but you're almost trapped in these habits, in these like motivation traps, right? If you just stop caring, it stops you from doing all that. You almost take yourself out of the picture so you can look at it from a different perspective, right? And that helps a lot. I would say that, again, there is truth to you can change overnight. I think you can change your mind overnight, right? It's almost a situation where it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? You almost need to have a tipping point to where your mind just changes, like you're so sick of it, right? And I think you can speed that up. Like, I think you can become sick of the way you're living and want to change, right? And want to do better. And not necessarily change everything. Just start something that you've been putting off, right? That you're like, oh, I would love to do this, but you just never do it for some reason, right? You do just need to get rid of the mental block that's there. It's like a roller coaster. When you walk on to the platform, you're scared. You do not want to go on this roller coaster. Once you get in the seat and the buckles tighten, you're already there. And it's going to be scary during the roller coaster, but after you're going to want to go back on, right? That's always how it is. So yeah, you just need to do it. I think overnight you just need to have like such a drastic mindset change and just decide that this is the point where you take no more, right? I think you just need to let go. And you need to say, nothing is dictating that I have to be the same person I was yesterday, right? If you let go, that will become very obvious, and that will become very easy to understand that truly nobody cares about who you are, and you can change at any moment ever, and you just need to do that. Now, I think your mindset can definitely change overnight, right? With that tipping point, you just have to change the way you're thinking. That's really it. And my advice would be to stop listening to advice. You just need to do it yourself. You just need to find within you the courage to get on the roller coaster, right? You know it's going to be hard during, but after, after you've reached success, after you die even, you're going to be satisfied with what you did. You're going to be happy. You're not going to want to have changed anything, right? So you do need to do that. You just need to change the way you think about things. You need to change your perspective. You need to step out of it. You need to relax. But you also need to realize that while your mind can change instantly, right, your environment or your habits aren't going to necessarily change instantly. Some habits will, if you're built like that, right? But with your change of mind, right, with the change of way that you're thinking, you also, when you wake up in the new day with the new you, you're still the new you in the same environment. So what I mean by you have to stop caring is that you really have to stop caring what your environment can dictate about you, and realize that the only thing that dictates how you live is yourself, right? Your environment is immediately going to be pushing back at you, wanting you to return to your old way of thinking. You can just not let that happen. You have to immediately change some habits. Nothing's going to change immediately, especially your environment and like your life how it is. You can change small habits that are going to build up and change your life eventually, and change your environment and change the settings, right? You might go from broke to living in a mansion, right? For example. So just know that your environment is going to be against you when you change your mindset, right? Your environment is literally built on what you have been thinking your entire life. So if you've been thinking negatively, right, and you've been thinking that you're never going to make it and you haven't believed in yourself, then that's what the environment is going to reflect. And you need to realize that you cannot fall back into that. You cannot let your environment dictate who you are. And you need to just go out there with a new mindset, and you need to change the small things that you can change now. Let the easy things be easy. Easy things, don't focus on like the hard big things first. Focus on the very small, very minuscule things you can change right now. Change them. The more of those you change, once you change every easy thing and you get better at those easy things, it's going to collect, and you will have the strength to change hard things, and they will seem easy in comparison. And then the harder things above that will seem easy, and eventually your whole environment has changed. It's a pyramid going up until you reach the tip of success, and then you keep going, right? You just start over there. So yeah, you can change your life overnight, technically. You can change who you are overnight. You can't change what is around you overnight. That's going to take a while. But it all starts with changing what you are and who you are, and then you can change what's around you. Your environment and your friends are just a reflection of you. So once you change who you are long enough, right? For long enough, the mirror is going to change the reflection. You're going to start to see a completely different you being reflected back at you at the world, and it's going to be the you want, right? You're going to be filled with a positive environment, with an environment where it pushes you to believe in yourself, with friends who push you to believe in yourself, friends who believe in you, right? You just need to change that mindset overnight. Focus on the small things when you wake up, and then at the end of the day, your environment will be different. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like a setting change. You can live in the same house and do this, I feel like. You just change like what everything means to you, right? Like things that could have meant negativity before. There is some things like friends that you just need to get rid of if they're negative friends, if they're bad friends, right? If there's things that remind you or try to like push you back into those negative thoughts, right? Back into those bad habits, you do need to remove them. But some things can also be morphed into good things. You can find the silver lining in some things. I talk about that a lot. You can find the positivity. You can find the good in things you once thought were bad. Right? So you just need to do that, especially with situations. Situations that you once thought were bad, right? They might truly be bad situations. You just need to find the silver lining. You need to find what lesson you're being taught. You're being taught a lesson in everything, right? A lesson can be found in everything. Life is like a book. Everything has a deeper meaning. You just need to look for it. And you need to think out of the box, right? Not everything has the same meaning. You can find any meaning in literally everything. Anything. You can find any meaning in it. You just have to think hard enough to find a good one. Right? Just think out of the box. Just let go. Step out of the box. Rotate the box, find a new meaning, right? Find a new edge. Well, I didn't know that design was on the other side of the box, right? It's just you really need to take yourself out of it. You really need to just change the perspective and focus on the easy things first. That's just how it is. I feel like it's easy to change, and a lot of people make it seem really hard, and it really isn't, because you just need to do it. Because once you've done it, yes, there is hardships ahead of you, but the hardest part truly is done. Because the way you change is you bite off more than you can chew, and then you chew it. Right? Like once you're on the roller coaster, you can't get off. You've done the hardest part. And you might think all the loop-de-loops are the hardest part. And they're going to be hard, no doubt. But there's no turning back. So really, how hard is it? Like, you're going to get there eventually. So truly, it's easy. It just takes time. You're measuring time like it's this thing that is like, oh, you're wasting it by doing all this hard stuff. You're wasting it by doing easy stuff. I feel like if you're doing hard stuff, you're not wasting your time. You're fulfilling your life. Change your mindset overnight. Change your environment in however long it takes. That's my advice to you.